Test 1 2 1 2 test test 1 2. Everybody good? Okay, we'll get started.
Check, check, 1 2. Check, check, 1 2.
All right, thanks, Brian. Hey, I appreciate everybody being here today. These decisions are not easy for coaches, the families, and the program. This course of action is something we didn't take lightly. I met with Coach Lunsford yesterday and informed him of the change in leadership was in the best interest of the program. Coach Lunsford handled the news professionally. I have the utmost respect for Coach Lunsford, not only as a coach, but as a person, a husband, and a dad. I appreciate everything he's done for this program in both occasions as he served as a coach here in this program as an assistant and a head coach. When you make these decisions, you look through the lens of what's in the best long-term interest of the program. We have a strong vision for Georgia Southern football, and we're not meeting it. Our current performance doesn't match our vision of comprehensive excellence. After meeting with Coach Lunsford, I met with assistant coach Kevin Whitley and asked him to serve as the interim head coach for the remainder of the season, and he has agreed to do so. We're very fortunate to have someone on our staff with his head coaching experience and playing experience like he does. Coach Whitley was an All-American here, and he knows what Georgia Southern football is all about. I met with our team, coaching staff, support staff, and team captains yesterday. Our student athletes are at the forefront of everything we do, and I wanted to reiterate that we're here to support them in any way that we can. I have the utmost confidence in Coach Whitley and our staff to lead our program over the next 8 games. We have a lot to play for, and I know our young men will continue to prepare and play as hard as they've been playing, and they'll continue to be ready to go this Saturday against Arkansas State. The search for our new head coach begins immediately. We want to be on an upward trajectory as a program. We want to have an identity of being highly disciplined, blue-collar, and tough. We're looking for the best possible candidate. We will look at head coaches and assistant coaches. We will work diligently to keep the search process confidential. There'll be a lot of rumors and innuendos about who the next coach is going to be, but it's not practical to respond to every rumor or bit of speculation. I would ask that everyone remain patient with the process. As I talk to candidates and word gets out, particularly via sources that they interviewed or our leading candidate, I'm going to assume that they're not interested in the job. It is important to manage a process in an effective manner to hire the best football coach and staff possible. I know I can count on Eagle Nation to remain patient through the process and fully support the new head coach and staff once in place. The traditions of Georgia Southern football are unparalleled. Coach Eric Russell, 6 national championships, the best fans in the country, 2 members of the College Football Hall of Fame. We have more tradition in the last 39 years than anyone in the country. We can be better, and I'm fully confident we will be better.
All right, guys, we'll take questions. If you could identify yourself the first time you ask a question. Josh, that's the mic.
Josh Aubrey, Statesman
Hey, Josh.
Herald. Jared, how much of an impact did the video that surfaced yesterday with the players on top of the roof of the bus drinking beer? You mentioned disciplined. You seemed to stress that in your opening statement. How much did that have to do with why we're here today?
Well, Josh, I'll tell you, everything as part of the decision-making process was factored through yesterday. And so I share with our coaches and staff all the time that every day is an evaluation. Every day has a sense of urgency to it, coaches and staff. And so what I can share with you is everything up to the time of the decision was factored in.
Of it, did that have anything to do with what happened Saturday?
Yeah, I'll tell you, if you look at this weekend through yesterday afternoon, everything from the time I got here back on April 1st all the way through yesterday afternoon was factored in.
Had that not happened Saturday, would you possibly have waited to do what to let Chad go?
Yeah, I think it's an overall. It wasn't a one issue, Josh. I think it was a comprehensive review, and so I've been on the job now a year and a half, and so I was at the point where it was time for a new direction.
Will the players that were on top of the bus be disciplined?
Yeah, so that process is working its way through the student code of conduct right now. Obviously, today's Monday, and I just saw the video yesterday, so we're working through the appropriate processes and steps. So, and I will say, Gavin Adcock is suspended indefinitely.
There was a lot of anger on social media from fans, former players over the video, and I imagine as athletic director, you probably heard some of that. Did anybody email you directly, any donors, et cetera, make their displeasure over that specific incident? Did they make that known to you?
Yeah, well, I hear from people all the time. So I would just share with you that obviously, as you can imagine, what was shown in that video, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And it's being handled, and we're not going to have that issue again. So I think it's safe to say that my thoughts are consistent with others, and we're not going to have that issue again.
Is there a concern about recruiting when you let go of a head coach? And is there a timetable that you'd like to have a new head coach?
Yeah.
Because I know it's pretty tough when recruits aren't sure who's going to be the next head coach.
Yeah, listen, anytime you have a football or any coach, matter of fact, in season, and there's a recruiting aspect, of course, it brings a different set of challenges. I would tell you, I think we have an unbelievable school here, unbelievable opportunity for young men and women for all sports to come here. When you look at the chance to play in some of the most, if not the best fans in the country and have a chance to be supported, particularly here at Paulson, with the tradition we have, the question I keep saying is why wouldn't you want to come here? So, yeah, I mean, anytime, relationships are built with coaches, it's tough. And Coach Lunsford is a great person. He's a great man, as I described. But we're selling Georgia Southern. This place is bigger than me and bigger than any place or any person, I should say, that's either me or before me. And so I have great confidence in our current staff continue to recruit, and obviously the new staff coming in will have a chance to pick up those relationships.
Lindsey Goff with WTOC. Was Coach Lunsford fired for cause or without cause?
Yeah, he's fired for convenience.
And how did the team receive it when you talked to
Well,
them?
I share with the team anytime you have a coach, a mentor, a role model that is removed from their position. I told them it's okay to be hurt. It's okay to have a wave or a range of emotions. That's normal. That's human. So. But we were empathetic with them and said we're here to serve them and help them any way we can, but also put a charge into them about we have a lot of unfinished business. We have 8 games left. All the goals we have, we set the year out, obviously wanting to achieve, are still there. And so really it's on them. They don't owe me anything. They owe themselves and their families and all the guys that came before them. And so it really was more saying, hey, listen, we're always here for you, here to support you, but we have unfinished business.
How did you arrive at the decision who would serve as the interim head coach?
Yeah, well, Coach Whitley, going back to what I mentioned earlier, I mean, Coach Whitley, he knows what Georgia Southern football is all about. And you have someone that was a successful, very successful high school coach, head coach, and had a chance, and he's made an impact here. And I'll tell you, a big part of that is the guys respect him, and the guys obviously know Coach Whitley very well, not only just his secondary group. And so to me, it was a fairly easy decision because I think he's the best person for the job. And I told the staff and I told the guys last night that he's in charge right now, and I'm going to support him. My job is to support him the best I can, and I have a ton of confidence in him, and he's going to do a terrific job.
Did the players receive, I know a lot of emotions going on, but did they receive that news pretty well, that someone they know would be taking over?
Yeah, I can't speak for him, but I'll tell you this. I mean, I think even before, obviously yesterday, Coach Whitley has unbelievable relationships with our student athletes, and there's a mutual respect there. And so I think yesterday was probably a manifestation of their relationships.
Are you guys planning to hire a search firm?
It's to be determined right now, Lindsay. I've got to get together. Obviously, yesterday's focus was on our student athletes and the change. This week we'll focus on trying to assemble a search committee, and then we'll kind of go from there.
So do you have a set time when you would like to name a coach, after the season, before the season's over?
Yeah, I mean, I think ideally, obviously the coaches you're talking to, assistant head coaches, have current responsibilities. So you can't say it's never, but I think it's probably highly unlikely during the regular season we'll name somebody. But, obviously the benefit of starting the process now is you can have conversations and start some preliminary work.
Frank Solkowski, WJCL. This is always going to be a topic brought up whenever there's a new football coach at Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
The option offense.
Yeah.
Stay, go, is that a priority when you're doing a search? Where are we at with that?
Yeah, I want to find a CEO, Frank, and obviously the offense the coach runs will be highly scrutinized or cheered for. But to me, we're trying to find a CEO, someone that's going to develop young men of character on and off the field and have success on the gridiron. So to me, It's all about finding a CEO. And then obviously what offense they run, and quite frankly, what defense they run is just as important, but we're trying to find a CEO.
How much do the fans play into this decision, I guess?
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to make the best decision for the team, but they're the ones that buy the tickets and
Yeah.
ultimately support the university.
Listen, we have the best fans in the country, and what I'll share with you, Lindsay, you're right. Like, I don't have a job without our fans. So our fans mean a lot to us. And I learned a long time ago when you make decisions and you lead out front, you're not going to obviously please everybody. And I'll tell you, that's one of the best parts of being here. That's why I came here, is we have the passion, quite frankly, that a lot of the schools I've been at previously in the SEC, and I would say at times more than those schools, because everyone is passionate about Georgia Southern and Georgia Southern football. And so you're not going to make everybody happy, obviously, with a hire, but I'm tasked with obviously trying to find the best fit for Georgia Southern. And so our fans' feedback means a lot. And you get it all across the board, and you just got to filter it through and ultimately make the best decision.
How do you determine who the next head coach will be? I know you're going to have some kind of a committee, but ultimately it's got to come down to you and
Yeah.
what you feel is best for the program. Is that correct?
Yeah. Listen, Josh, it's no different than other searches that we've administered since I've been here. It'll be a team effort with a committee, but you're right. I mean, ultimately the buck stops with me, and I welcome that, right? And I think that when you look at, I think one of the advantages coming into this role was 20 years in the SEC and 4 different institutions. There's a lot of contacts, and when you go through a search process, you utilize those contacts, and I'm very confident that when all's said and done, we're going to have a great candidate here.
Even before the video surfaced, there had been some chatter online and among fans that the program had sort of lost its blue-collar image. There was that sense out there. How important is it to not just get a winning coach, but a coach that sort of wins in the way that fans expect? Like, how important is sort of restoring that brand in addition to just finding a good coach?
Yeah, I would tell you, first and foremost, fans want to win, right? And that's our expectation here. That's the standard we're leading to. And, I would think that any school that has success wants to be tough, wants to be blue-collar. Those are not unique attributes to Georgia Southern. But I also would tell you, too, it is important. Discipline, as I stressed before, is extremely important, just like being blue-collar and tough. I'm not worried about the optics of running something that looks pretty. It's about winning ball games. At the end of the day, it's about winning ball games and developing young men of character. So that's why, to Frank's question before, it's easy to get hyper-focused on a certain type of offense. But we're trying to find a CEO that ultimately is going to mold young men, and that's an awesome responsibility. And so I'm very optimistic that we'll have a lot of different opportunities to look at different styles of play, different backgrounds. But this is a very attractive job, and I expect the best of the best to have an interest.
And you've also seen both current and former players express their support and admiration for Chad. And, regardless of how the team has started the year, which I know is not what anyone around here wanted, but they did make bowl games the last 3 seasons. Were you worried at all that, hey, even though the start to this season maybe wasn't as good as you wanted, there was still a record of success and support that you had to contend with keeping Chad on versus letting him go?
Yeah, I think it's the best way to describe that is you balance humility with confidence, and I was confident this is the right decision for the program. Again, I really care I really do value what our former letter winners say, and again, you're never going to reach consensus on critical decisions, oftentimes, and so at the end of the day, you take all that in totality and you make the best decision for the program, and that's what my role is. My role is to do what's in the best interest of the program and the university, and again, I think that was I expressed to it earlier, that was the right decision yesterday.
Jared, you've mentioned the concern that some other programs are zooming past Georgia Southern, Coastal Carolina, App, Louisiana. To be able to keep up with them, it seems like you're going to have to pay a coach what they're paying their coaches, or get as close as you can. You have shown that you're able to, on the last few hires that you've had, pay significantly more than what their predecessor was making. Will this be a similar situation, and is there a dollar figure that you've got in your mind as to where you can go with this?
Yeah. No, that's a fair question. Here's what I would share with you. When you look at a football staff, while the head coach is really important, just as important are, the 10 on the field assistants, the off the field staff, the strength conditioning. So I approach it, Josh, collectively as a aggregate total, and then ultimately work with the coaches and the head coach on building out their staff. And sometimes it's easy to get kind of bird dog a salary, but often the elite coaches understand how important, just like I do. I'm not nearly as effective or any good without great people around me. And the elite coaches understand that, and what they usually end up doing is going through the process and saying, I need this to get this person, and then sometimes that works its way back to their salary. In essence, they're willing to be flexible with their salary predicated on their staff they're building out. And that's the approach I've always taken, and look at things in totality. I will share you coming off a record fundraising year. We have a lot of momentum. We talk about raising money for the indoor facility. We have the Convocation Center coming online. Eagle Nation continues to show up, and we continue to obviously need more and more of their help. And so we're going to be competitive with the market. Just because you pay the most doesn't always equate to wins, but we're going to be aggressive with our search. And I'm not going into the search with a mindset of, well, we can't afford this person. We're going to aim high. As I said before when I was introduced, if we aim high and miss high, so be it. But we're not settling. And so I'll do anything I can related to fundraising and getting the revenues needed to get the coach in here that we need. This is a big hire, and we're going to turn over every stone possible, and that includes resources.
We've got time for a couple more questions. If anybody else has a question, raise your hand.
Jared, one more question. We know that football is the front porch of a university, especially here in the South. How active is the university as far as the president and the folks on Sweetheart Circle with this decision and this search?
Yeah, listen, I'm blessed, and I shared this at our board meeting Friday. I feel like I work for the best president in the U.S., and at 5 institutions, I haven't worked with a president that is just all around just an unbelievable person as a professional. And Dr. Marrero has become a friend, and he's someone that I rely on. He's someone that I use as a sounding board, and so it was my full decision. But like anything, I always will ask for advice and ask for input. But at the end of the day, he's made it clear, obviously, that he entrusts me with this department. And listen, I think one of the great things about Georgia Southern, there's a lot of great things about Georgia Southern, but one of them is the ability to work across the aisle and its ability to all pull on the same side of the rope. That is invaluable. There's probably schools you can think of in the country that have unlimited resources, but due to various, whether it be bureaucratic ways or lack of teamwork, whatever, that's not equating to wins. One of the best things about Georgia Southern right now is the alignment from the president on down. And it starts with Dr. Marrero, and it starts with everybody else on cabinet on down. And so I look at it as one big team. And I think that's what's so important is when you're bringing a head coach in here, you're presenting a united front. And I'm just telling you, the older I get, and this I've mentioned before when I got introduced, a big reason why I came here was the alignment from the top down. And listen, we're headed in the right direction. We're headed in an upward trajectory. And again, Dr. Marrero gets a lot of credit and deserves a lot of credit for that. But I also tell you, athletic-wise, we're in parallel with the university. And that's what excites me. So, yeah, you're always taking into account various, opinions of which. But Dr. Marrero's been a great friend and a great, obviously boss, and I appreciate him.
Obviously, this is still very fresh, but you mentioned how desirable this job is. Have you received any early interest? And just how important is it that the football team is successful for the rest of the, I guess, overall good of the athletic department?
Yeah, so I'll answer your first question. I've got a lot of text messages and missed voicemails to return. I've got to get caught up on that. So, listen, there'll be a lot of interest, and I think that also goes back to the school. Listen, this is an unbelievable opportunity. This is an unbelievable job, and so my expectations going in, we're getting the best of the best, and I feel very confident that we're going to get that. As it relates to the last 8 games of the year, listen, this is critically important, right? It's critically important. I told the seniors last night that, when they started here at Georgia Southern, I'm sure none of them envisioned, going through their senior year and having a coaching change. But listen, at the end of the day, so much of our role and our job as educators is to prepare our young men and women here in the department for life after sport. And I think one of the best lessons you can help them learn and develop is dealing with adversity. And I shared with our captains last night, I shared with our team that adversity is going to hit you in life. It's going to hit you right in the face at times, and it's about how you respond to it. And so there's a lot of times in life that things you can't control, they happen, but yet I can control that. The 3 controllables we talk about: attitude, effort, and how you treat people. So this is a chance to obviously persevere through adversity. And listen, everything we want to do is still on the table, right? And so I have full confidence in Coach Whitley and the coaching staff and the support staff and our young men in the program to continue to battle and to continue to go out there and give their full effort. And listen, our fans, I know Eagle Nation's behind our group of student athletes, and so I'm fired up for Saturday. I'm ready to get after it. And this time of year, man, it's football season, so every Saturday brings a new set of excitement. All right. Thank y'all.
All right, guys, I'm going to bring in Coach Whitley here. He's going to make an opening statement, and we'll do the same thing. Especially everybody, could you please introduce yourself for him for the first time through? On this microphone. Coach Whitley, the podium is yours.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. I'm very humbled by this opportunity, and I want to thank everybody who went into making this decision. Being a Georgia Southern Eagle for well over 30 years now, it's a very special place for me. And I played here, went to school here, graduated from here, made a lot of lifelong friends. I've had a number of guys text me that I played with. My teammate got put in the Hall of Fame on Saturday, Rodney Oglesby. So again, this is a special place. I do want to thank my wife, Star, and my kids. I don't think a lot of times people know the sacrifice they make to be a coach's wife and kids. So, but I do want to appreciate them and my parents and also my brother. So the floor is open, and I'll take any questions.
It's Josh Aubrey with the Statesboro Herald.
How you doing, big guy?
Doing well, thanks. So you've been a head coach on the high school level. This is the college level, a little bit different.
Yeah,
this time
a
around.
lot different. I never had a press conference like this to start it off, so normally I just walk in the building and go to my classroom, so it's a big change.
Have you turned to anyone for advice, and how different do you feel like this is now that you're getting the reins at Georgia Southern?
Yes, no doubt. I've reached out to a couple people on the college level, friends, and one of the unique things about being a high school coach, you meet a lot of college coaches when they come recruit your schools. So I have a number of those guys who I can call and get some information from, so that's what I try to do.
What do you feel about the task ahead for you? What's the biggest challenge that you have right now? I would imagine a lot of it is keeping the kids' heads up and moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. Our number one concern right now is our student athletes. Right now, particularly our senior class, guys are giving so much to our program, and we just want to make sure we send them out the right way. So the focus right now is just rallying the troops, make sure everybody's pulling in the same direction. We actually practiced yesterday, so the first time on the field was yesterday, and the guys responded really well, and we're looking forward to having a great week of practice and getting ready for Saturday.
A lot of the current and former players obviously thought very highly of Chad. How do you kind of address concerns within the team of, well, look, Chad's the one who recruited me, I was very close with him, etc. Maybe this is sort of the tail end of my Georgia Southern career. Has anybody raised that sort of line of questioning with you, and if so, how do you handle it?
They have not personally talked to me in that manner, but Coach Lunsford recruited me, so we're all in the same boat there. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Coach Lunsford. He's the reason I'm here. He gave me an opportunity, and I've tried to support him and make the best of the opportunity he's given me. So I think all of us in the same boat there. All of us have very strong feelings about him, but right now, just like we just mentioned that, when adversity hits, you got to step up and find a way to get it done. So that's what we're going to try to do. I met with the staff, I met with the players, I met with support staff, and I'll continue to do that the rest of the day and make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah, and to kind of take it over to former Georgia Southern players, of which you are obviously one, they expressed a lot of strong feelings sort of all over the place last night. You sort of have a pretty unique insight into that community. Who have you heard from, and what have they been saying to you?
Yeah, I think the biggest question is probably who haven't I heard from? Those guys, like I said, all of my friends, all of us have great relationships. So I kind of get a lot of information from those guys, whether it be good or bad, through the years that I've been here as a coach. But quite a few of them reached out, and they just want the best for this program. And I told them I was going to be committed to doing everything I could to make sure we were successful.
Amy Zimmer from WJCL ABC Savannah. You are set to make your head coaching debut in 5 days. How are you approaching this week with Arkansas State on Saturday?
Well, right now our biggest opponent is ourselves. So we're going to work to get better. We're going to do the things that we need to do in terms of blocking and tackling, get better on the fundamentals. And then Saturday will take care of itself. So right now, like I mentioned, the biggest obstacle right now is just make sure everybody's on the same page, make sure everybody believes in what we're doing, and then going out playing the best of our ability.
Lindsey Goff with WTOC in Savannah.
Hey, Lindsey.
When you were contacted to take over as interim, were you surprised or a little bit of excitement? Like, what was going through your mind?
Well, I'm actually still surprised. So, you know, like I said, it was caught me off guard. But like I said, you know, sometimes life is off script, and you got to be ready to write the story. So I was shocked, but he, you know, got the information, and I had to make a decision what I wanted to do. But like I said, we have a really good group of seniors, and I think they deserve that we do our best. You know, and that's what I'm going to do.
Hard decision for you to come to?
No, not hard, because like I said, you know, Georgia Southern's a special place to me. You know, I've been here, spent a lot of my life here, a lot of lifelong relationships. So the decision was not hard. It was just making sure that our guys were in a good position. And so one thing I like to pride myself on over the last 2.5 years that I've been here, I've tried to build really good relationships with them. You know, it's not a guy on the team, I don't know their name. And so there's things I've taken pride in to make sure that everybody feel like they were important, everybody has a role, everybody has something that they can give to this program. So, you know, that's our key. We're going to keep doing that, you know, keep letting these guys know that, hey, we're in this together, and we're going to focus on 1 week at a time. So, like I said, we're going to play Georgia Southern this week on Saturday, and we're going to try to beat Georgia Southern.
Some people have the goal of being a head coach. Some people like being a coordinator. Was being a head coach at this level ever a goal of yours?
When I finally made the decision to come, my wife actually had to push me off the ledge. You know, it's definitely a goal. I mean, I don't think anybody that has ever done it wouldn't want to be in charge of their own program. And then you add the fact that it's Georgia Southern, you know, it's even more special for me. So was it a goal? Yes. When would it happen? I didn't know. But my job right now is just to be the best assistant coach I could be. And I feel like if you treat people well, you know, you work hard, you know, good things happen for you. So I'm blessed to be where I'm at today.
Do you want to be considered for the permanent position?
Right now, I'm worried about this Saturday. So let's get that one, and then we'll go next week, and then ask me in 8 weeks, and we'll see how that goes. But right now, really, it's about those guys. Coach Witt's going to be okay, no matter what. You know, I'm going to be fine. So, but again, I want these seniors to leave with a good experience like I left. When I left, Georgia Southern didn't owe me anything. I mean, they gave me everything, and I gave them everything. And so, you know, whatever happens in the future, I'm going to give it everything I got. So, you know, no matter what happens, I'm good.
What did you say to the team when you addressed them as their interim head coach?
What did I say? You know, I just kind of told them that, hey, you know, things happen. You got to be ready to make an adjustment. So that's what we did. And like I said, I thought it was good that we get on the field last night, which we did. The guys flew around, gave them a message afterwards. Today is a big academic day for us. So hopefully everybody's on class. I don't get any bad reports about not going to class or not going to study hall and things of that nature. But we have a good day today. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we'll come out. We'll be ready to go.
Frank Sulkowski, WJCL Savannah. Coach, you've been on those yellow school buses.
Longer than you think.
Exactly. The Valley's, we can go on and on. You're a Georgia Southern guy. This isn't something you take lightly. What do we need to do to get this thing straight here moving forward the rest of the season? I know you touched on Georgia Southern. You know, the whole thing. I mean, you know the fan base is rabid.
Right.
You know we're going to be searching for a new coach.
No
How,
doubt.
you know, talk about it. I mean, you've seen everything.
Well, I think the first thing is just, you know, really everybody getting on board. I mean, the number one thing is everybody's got to be pulling in the same direction. And that's the kind of message that I've given everybody in terms of coaching staff, equipment staff, training staff, that we all have to be pulling in the same direction. If we're not doing that, it's not going to work. Okay, and so once we get that solved, get everybody on the same page, again, you know, letting these guys know that everybody has a role, whether you're on scout team or no team. You know, if you got that blue jersey on, it means something. And so as long as you got that jersey on, we're going to do it one way. We're going to do it one way, and that's the Georgia Southern way. All right, we're going to do right. I heard that more than I could ever hear when I was here, and that's something that I took great pride in, and so that's something that I will continue to do. We're going to do it the right way. We're going to get the guys to play hard. We're going to have a lot of fun. And like I said, the main important thing is to get these seniors out on the right direction.
Coach, there's been a lot of talk about the players and how they're feeling and how, you know, this is affecting them, but you've got assistant coaches throughout this building that don't know what their future holds, their family's future holds.
Correct.
that's a tough situation to be in.
It is.
I don't know that you've been in that position, but I'm sure there's guys on the staff that have.
Yes.
How do you talk to them? Have you guys met as a group and mentioned how we really need to focus, even though these guys might be thinking, where am I going to be next year? Am I going to have to sell my house?
Yes, sir. We actually, like I said, we did get on the field last night. Normally we're here 10, 11 o'clock at night on Sunday, but when we came off the field yesterday, I told everybody to go home, kiss your wife, kiss your kids, make sure everybody's okay. Because again, it's a tough situation not only for players but for coaches and their families, like you mentioned. So we want to make sure that our wives are good, our kids are good, because one thing I've learned is that if you ain't happy at home, you're not very effective here in the office. So we want to make sure everybody's good. Again, it's a tough situation for everybody involved. And I wanted to let those guys know that I was pulling for them. I'm going to support them any way I can. Anything I can do to make this situation better for them and their families, I was willing to do that. Okay, we got a kid in December. We got a kid in February. We got a newborn just maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So got a lot of new Eagles. We want to make sure all of them are good.
With everything that you've had to do so far this week, and I imagine in the days ahead, I have to imagine that the prep for Arkansas State is going to look a lot different than it would in a normal week. How has that process kind of changed with everything that you've had to do?
Yeah, and you know what? Right now, the biggest thing that I wanted to focus on, too, was not making it a whole lot different for the players. I wanted the schedule to be the same. They got study hall, they got practice, they got, so that routine won't change. Now, how we operate within that will change a little. But, anytime you take over something in the middle of the season, you can't just scratch it. It's, we got a good plan. We have a good plan. We're going to execute the plan. We're going to get guys to play hard. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So, I think everybody's bought into that. Like I said, I want the coaches to feel good about what's going on. I want the players to feel good about what's going on. And then, we'll take it one game at a time.
Coach, what do you know about Arkansas State, and how much of this is going to be you talking to Coach Ruse and Coach Sloan about, game plans?
I think the biggest difference is that mostly I just been kind of worried about the offense. And so now I'll have definitely a more broader view of the other team. But right now, like I said, once we walk out in that field tomorrow, we're going to be all together, and we're going to get better at Georgia Southern. All right, because like I said, right now it's us. It's us against us. We just happen to play Arkansas State on Saturday. And so what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the things that we can control. We're going to get better. Coach Roos and Coach Sloan are excellent coordinators. Got a lot of confidence in those guys. They're going to have our guys ready to go. And like I said, my job is to help that process and make sure when we get out here at 4 o'clock on Saturday, we're ready to go.
I know it's still very early, but kind of looking ahead to the rest of the season, are you planning to change anything you guys do schematically at all?
Well, rest of the season, we got a game on Saturday. That's where we're focused. We're going to take it 1 week at a time, and I can't even take it a week at a time. I got to get through the day, worry about tomorrow, and so we're going to truly take it a day at a time. In terms of major changes, I don't see that happening because, again, right now, our kids deserve not to be thinking. We need them to play fast. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to give them every opportunity to play fast and have fun.
You've been in the high school ranks as well and dealt with high school kids. How does this impact recruiting in the early signing period?
Well, the first thing I did last night was I called all the commits. So I already reached out and talked to them, assured their families of where they stand with the program. I'll be on the phone tonight talking to uncommitted guys. So recruiting won't stop. We're still going to recruit our guys. We still got some guys that we're trying to get in the fold. And so one thing about college ball, recruiting is the lifeline, so we can't neglect that. So whether it's me or another coach, I want him to have good players when he gets here.
Amy, WJCL, ABC Savannah, Georgia Southern fans are unlike any other. How important is it for fans to come out to Paulson on Saturday and show their support?
I think it's very important. I will share with you this. I've been in this situation as a player myself. If you look back at 1990, we started off 1-3, right? And so I can remember it was hard to go to Landrum. It was hard to leave the dorm because everybody was so critical of what we were doing. But I think at that time we pulled together. It brought us closer together. And so my goal now is to pull us closer together. We're going to use this as fuel. All right, it's us. You know, it's us. I would go scream. I got a mic. I'm not going to scream too loud, but it's us. All right. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take care of us. You know, and so like I said, being in their position as a player, being 1-3, and then shocking the world is possible, right? So if it's possible, why not us? All right. And so that's what we're going to do. It's possible. All right. And so that'll be my message. So, but it's not possible if you focus on game 8. No, we got a game on Saturday. We're going to focus on that game, and then we'll worry about the next one next week. But right now, it's all about Saturday.
Former players really value the tradition here, and after that video surfaced online, a lot of former players sounded off online that they weren't pleased with that. What was your reaction when you saw it?
I was actually the same reaction, not knowing that it was taking place. It's just something that can't happen, right? I'll tell you a quick little story. My first freshman year on that bus, I grew up in a program where you didn't talk on the bus. You were quiet. So I get on the bus, leaving Hannah, and I'm quiet. And all of a sudden, these guys start yelling and singing. I'm like, what are we doing? You know, but it became a part of me, you know. And the thing that I've heard Coach Cabral say several times, a lot of things have changed throughout Georgia Southern football. A lot of things have changed, but it's one thing that keeps all of us united. If you've ever been a player, if you've ever been a coach, you know that Valley song. So I don't care if they played in 83, 93, 03, they know the Valley song. So it is an important tradition. We definitely do not want to abuse it, and I feel like that happened this past weekend. That's not going to happen again, all right? Because, again, our guys have been taught to respect the traditions here, all right? They know Tracy Ham. They know Adrian Peterson, you know. And so those things are important, you know. And then you have 2 college Hall of Famers on campus. You know, we need to be taking advantage of those resources. So those guys are good friends, good mentors of mine, and you know, I'll be sitting down with them as well, and you know, we'll get it right. But that is a good tradition. You know, we may bring some Eagle Creek water Saturday. I don't know. You know, we'll keep it going. So all about traditions, definitely.
Any other questions? All right, thank you guys.
All right, thank you guys.